You guys, this is this has been an ordeal. I have been trying to go live for 30 minutes and it was not working. So I'm really sorry this is late. I'm I don't know what happened. Technology. So it doesn't always work great for us. Anyways, what we're talking about today is burnout. All right. We're going to talk about mistaking it for laziness or willpower because that's not what it is. We're going to talk about the achievement addiction and we're going to talk about rest that restores versus rest that numbs. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into it real quick. This may be short because I've been trying for so long. Anyways, so laziness and willpower. One thing that burnout is not, okay? The problem is you feel like you can't. You just feel overwhelmed, exhausted, all the feelings, and you just can't. You physically, you mentally can't. You're having some decision fatigue. And really, when you get burnout, you need to understand what it is as well as what it is not, because it is not laziness and it is not an issue of willpower. I really used to suffer from this when I was in corporate America because I would work so hard for so long and I was just addicted to achievement. I was always trying to move forward and I never took time to actually rest. I numbed myself through different things and so there was never recovery. And that's really what you need, is to always have recovery built into your patterns, your habits, how you do things, just all of it. So uh, don't ever think, oh my gosh, I'm being lazy. But if you're an X-Gen person, I'm bottom 1980 of the X-Gen, but we always kind of had that. If you're not doing something, then you're being lazy. If you're not being productive, you're being lazy. And so that little voice goes in our head and we overthink a lot about that being productive. I have to be doing something. I have to be accomplishing something. I have to be finishing something. If I'm not working, then I need to be working on the yard, or I have to be. And that's kind of what goes through your head. And the problem is we have to change that from I have to I get to. Okay, so I'll talk about that a little bit when we get to rest and versus numbing. So moving from that, what happens is we often judge ourselves for what we feel like is a lack of motivation, of like, I just don't want to do it. I'm done. I've quit. Is really what you're going through, and it sucks because you get really hard on yourself. We're our own worst critics, and the problem is we really suffer from what we say in our heads. And I've had, you know, growing up, there was always that saying of, be careful what you wish for. Well, the same thing goes true for be careful what you say, and not just out loud, but also in your head. Because when you beat yourself up like that for not doing something, and when you're just constantly in there beating yourself up, what you're doing is you're using energy, and you're using a lot of it. And that gets you exhausted. We've talked about this a little bit on the overthinking and in different lives. I think this is only the third one, but we're getting there. We're building. We're growing. So we really have to let that judgment go. And this is why I talk about giving ourselves grace a lot. Because when you're exhausted and you're burnt out, you really need a recovery. And that you don't want to numb. You need an actual recovery. And so to get out of the I'm just done feeling, we need to understand that it's not laziness. You're actually depleted. There's no energy. There's no mental fortitude. Your body is done. You can't do anything. And this is because of all the hormones and everything that we've built up and released into our bodies because of that constant go, 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 go. And understanding it's not laziness, and understanding it's something that's built into us that we just need to rewire. And it's really what will help you, okay? So discipline does not fix this. Discipline too. Okay, I have to get up at 6 a.m. and I have to be at work by 7, and I'm doing this and this and this, and I'm gonna be that person who works until 6 p.m. and then I'm gonna get home and pass out on the couch. That does nothing for you. It really does nothing for you. And I'll be honest, I've gotten to the point, one of my lines that I draw is I I wake up, I do have my discipline and my things that I do, but I also set time for recovery, okay? Because if you don't recover from the mental as well as the physical, but mostly the mental, if you don't recover from that, you're screwed. You're just literally screwed. You're gonna keep doing it and it becomes a cycle, and that actually gets us into achievement addiction, okay? So achievement addiction, what that is it's the constant chase of the next goal, okay? It's never looking back and seeing how far you've come and rewarding yourself or being proud of yourself for the steps that you have taken. What it is it's almost a constant punishment, because you feel like you have to be constantly achieving and constantly building and growing and developing and be the best employee and do all the things, because if you burn yourself out working on this project, you might get promoted or you might get recognized. The problem is it doesn't work, okay? It all it does is just exhaust you. That's it. That's all it does. And so I have notes for myself, and I don't know what I wrote about this, but slowing down for us high achievers, it can often feel unsafe. It can make you feel guilty. It can even cause some confusion, because you feel like I'm doing all the things. I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to, so why am I so exhausted? I'm doing the time with my kids. I'm cooking the meals. I'm doing the laundry. I'm doing the dishes. I'm running kids around to sports, because they're all supposed to be in sports and activities and after school events and things like that. So you feel like you're doing all the things. You're checking all the boxes. I'm doing the things. So why am I exhausted? Why am I, well, you may understand you're doing too much, but you can do those things in a way that actually energizes you and recovers, and it helps you to no longer feel numb. You can be present in the moment. And I know for me, that guilt of not being present in the moment, it was horrendous. It was awful. And it made me keep pushing through the exhaustion. And that benefited no one. No one at all, because I was grumpy and angry and that made my kids grumpy and angry, and it made my husband grumpy and angry. And we often don't understand that our thoughts and our attitude and our mentality affects all the people in our circle. And so we really have to recover. We need to find that recovery and understand that slowing down sometimes is safe, because it gives us time to analyze. It gives us time to gather data, understand what mistakes we may have missed, what made anything like that, and what we can do is we can turn those into opportunities to learn and grow and move forward, so we aren't making the same mistakes over and over and over again, okay? So we're not just constantly burning ourselves out. Slowing down can actually speed you up. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes you need to slow down to move faster. Kind of tortoise in the hare sort of a thing. But you get into, with achievement addiction, you get into this loop. It's just a constant loop where you start, you build, you move, you finish, start, build, move, finish, start, build, move, and there's the loop right there. So we get into that, and it's exhausting, because you need to reward yourself, and you need to give yourself time to recover, and it's not healthy if you don't. So I'm moving crazy fast through this today, guys. I'm really sorry. But so when we get into rest, we have restorative rest, and then we have numbing rest. And a lot of us fall into that numbing rest. I know I used to, and it was horrendous because what happens is you think, no one's home. I finally get a day to myself. What am I going to do? I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm going to binge watch Bridgerton or You or any number of other shows or whatever's popular right now. I don't even have a clue. I'm catching up on You. But Ted Lasso, I've had to watch that show, like the series, like 5 times because I always numb myself with. Every time I watch it, I numb and I get into games on my phone and doing other things, so I'm not present in the moment. And the thing about Ted Lasso that's freaking fantastic is all of the lessons that you learn through Ted Lasso, the character development and everything, psychologically speaking, it's fantastic. So if you have not watched that show, go watch it. I was pretty bummed that they canceled it because it's really phenomenal, really healthy mindsets in it, and various character development through psychological lessons, and it's just really cool. Anyways, that was my aside. So getting into rest and restoring, that was how I used to numb. I would put on a show and then I'd start playing a game on my phone, and next thing I'd know, the episode would end and I had no idea what happened in the whole entire episode. So you rewind, at least I did. I'd rewind and I'd watch it over again and then do the exact same thing. And it's numbing. You're not present. You're not aware of what you're doing. And it's a continuous pattern that you do over and over and over again. So the next thing you know, either you've guilted yourself through thought the entire day for you weren't productive, you didn't do this, you got nothing accomplished, what is wrong with you, you're lazy, you're pathetic, all those things that go on in your head, all those voices, they suck. And they suck the energy out of you. So they're awful. You don't want to be in that. You want to actually be present and have a quiet mind and let yourself relax. If you're resting, you need to focus on resting and how your body feels. You need to be very mindful of what are you feeling? What's your heart rate doing? Are you happy? Are you joyful? Are you sad? Are you angry? Are you frustrated? Are you starting to overthink? Overthinking. What is happening in your body? So when you can quiet your mind and actually focus and be mindful on it, you can be more intentional with your rest, okay? You can get better sleep, you can walk, you can run, you can go play cricket. I don't know, whatever you want to do. It's just something that popped in my head. Talking about Ted Lasso, I guess. But you can journal, you can do breathing. So breathing techniques, let me finish that. So here's my journal. It's freaking massive. But this is the manifesting journal. This is Confidence Collective Coaching. So you can get that on Amazon. If you do my program, you get the whole thing pretty much for free. But you can buy it on Amazon and have it shipped to you. And it's 9 months of goal setting and journaling and prompts and what to do and everything. So it's pretty freaking phenomenal. It's what I use all the time, daily. I do it morning and night. So you can, oh, we have a comment. It doesn't even show me that we have viewers and I have a comment, but I can't see the comment. So, oh, it's Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer. Yay. So she's on, and Jennifer is someone who I know has suffered from burnout and imposter syndrome and all the things. So this may help you a little bit, Jen. Anyways, so jumping back into rest. You really need rest to be restorative, not numbing. When we doom scroll, when we don't have limitations on our social media use, okay? That's a huge one because you just start and the next thing you know, an hour's passed, 2 hours. You're laying in bed at night, you know you need to go to sleep, you're freaking exhausted, all of the things, and you're not getting actual rest because you're numbing. And as long as you realize that's what you're doing, put a timer on your phone. Do something to limit the amount of time and make sure that what you're doing on social media is joyful, causes you some sort of happiness. And the thing that sucks, really, really sucks, is that social media just sucks all the energy out of you, and it's horrendous because people tend to live in this one of two categories, okay? Either they're over here, I don't know if that's the right side for you, but they're over here and everything is magical. It's beyond incredible. Everything is filtered and beautiful and nothing is dirty, nothing is angry. Everything is just gorgeous dream world that really doesn't exist because things happen in life. Clouds might be stormy and there's beauty in that too. You don't have to have a beach landscape with a beautiful sunset on your cover photo every single freaking day because that's not normal. It's not life for everybody. I mean, it's probably life for some people, but it's not life for everybody. So let it go. It sucks. Don't focus on other people's crap because most of the time, if you look at studies, what it actually shows is that people are posting all of this stuff, but they don't actually feel that way. And it actually causes harm to their mental health because they're trying to represent themselves in a way that isn't true. And so if you look, a lot of the influencers now that are huge are ones that are body positive, and they'll show you how to create that beautiful, gorgeous, perfect body and in an image, and then they'll show you what they really look like. They'll stand normal. They won't be popping a knee and popping a hip and doing all the things to pose in a certain way. They show themselves as they are, and that's crazy healthy. If you can find those people, find them, follow them, because they are amazing. They're showing you no filters. They're showing you life, what it's like, because sometimes life is incredible and other times life sucks. So when you get into that doom scrolling, either you're hitting that wonderful, incredible, life is beautiful, and you feel bad because that's not what your life is, or that's not the life you're giving to your kids and your family, so you feel bad about that. Or it's the other end where somebody's complaining about their anxiety, they have no friends, they want to kill themselves, and they're putting this whole thing out about how miserable their relationship is and how horrendous everything is in the world. And it's just like, well, that sucks. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be around these people that are just sucking all the energy out of you because social media sucks. It just sucks. That's all it does. And that is just numbing because there's no emotional regulation. You can't be in a happy, calm state when you're going back and forth between the two. Life is in the middle. Sometimes there's highs, sometimes there's lows, but you kind of want to just be in the middle where everything is good and you can be mindful and you can be aware of your surroundings and what's going on. And when you're actually being present in the moment, that's when accomplishments happen. That's when you see how proud of yourself you should be. You see where you've come from. You see how far you've gone. You see how much you've learned, how much you've challenged yourself, how much you've grown, and you're proud of those steps. You may see the next mile, but you can be proud of the quarter mile that you ran. You may still have 3 more laps, running analogy, mile, but you can be proud of the quarter mile that you came. That's the mindfulness. That's the restful thinking. That's letting yourself be proud of the accomplishments that you've made and seeing you can do the rest because you've come so far. It's not the constant pressure. It's not, I must achieve the next thing. I must go forth. I must conquer everything. I must show everyone at work that I'm the best employee. Oh my gosh, in the military, that was horrendous. Everybody was trying to prove that they were the best. I could outwork everybody. I work 16-hour days. I do this, that, and the other. And I don't take my vacation time because I'm freaking incredible. How detrimental is that to people's health? You would have leaders saying, well, I lost 30 days of vacation this year because I was busy working. Well, what does that do to your family? What does that do to your mental health? Giving up your vacation time? That's stupid. Don't do that crap. Be realistic. Take the rest that you need and then be productive when you get back and not numb, okay? Do these things and understand that it's not being lazy. It's not for willpower. It's not any of the things. Be realistic. Be compassionate to yourself and just let it be what it is. Jennifer, I know you. I'm talking to you. Oh, I love you. You're so cute. So you can do this. It's not like crazy hard. You just have to understand how to rewire a little bit. That takes some work. I can help you with that work. Let me finish this. So finishing things up, okay? Numbing gives you temporary relief. It is not a full-born solution. It does not help. Numbing is terrible. It does nothing for you. It makes the problem worse. It makes it persist. You have to find a way to restfully calm your mind, breathe, and rest. Your body, your mind, everything, okay? Real rest will give you energy. It will build your energetic state, okay? Real rest actually gives you energy back. So after that project, take the time, take an hour, take a day, take whatever you need, like on a Saturday, and do things that are restful that you will enjoy. If it's gardening, if it's going and getting coffee with a friend, if it's whatever it is, whatever feeds your soul, do the thing so that then you'll have more energy when you get back to work on Monday, okay? So that is real rest. So I want to go over real quick with the burnout, kind of what I talked about today, okay? So laziness, lack of willpower, that's not what burnout is. So get that out of your head. And then achievement addiction, which sucks, don't do it. And then rest, restore versus numbing, rest. Yeah. And then next week, what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about protecting yourself from overwhelm. So we're going to learn a little bit about overwhelm, and I'm going to teach you how to protect it. So I made it through almost this whole life without a kid trying to find me. We had a delayed start today because of the tornadoes that happened here in Alabama last night. And you can see a little shadow right here. So we had a delayed start, and it's the last day of school, so I decided I wasn't going to take the kids to school. They can just start, and they gave me all of this time until now, and now I have a little shadow right here trying to get my attention. So, and there's another one. So I want you to understand that burnout can be recovered from, okay? And next week, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about protecting yourself from overwhelm, how that works, and how you can actually prevent overwhelm. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of that stuff. And then I wanted to let you know, so like for you, Jennifer, and anybody else watching, my program, I've been launching my course, and on June 16th, I believe, I'm going to do a live event. I don't have all the details yet, but I'm working on it. But I'm going to have a live event. You can come. It's going to be a Zoom, so it's not going to be in Facebook. It's not going to be a live in Facebook. It'll be a live Zoom event, and you'll actually learn about my 5-step process. Okay? So how I went from exhausted and overwhelmed and anxiety and PTSD and all the things to where I'm now, where I'm actually present most of the time for my kids, and how I live an energetic life where I can actually wake up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and go run and restore myself. Whereas when I was working in the corporate world, you guys, it was awful. I was numb. Everything was painful, and just there's not a chance in hell I could have woken up in the morning and run like I do now. And I think I put in more work hours now than I used to. So just being present and learning some different things. So you guys will be able to learn about that. So do you guys want to say hi? Come say hi.
No. Hi.
Oh, hi. So one of them wanted to say hi. But I'm going to sign off for the day since I finally got the live going. I'll cut it a little bit short, about 6 minutes short today. Oh, there's the other one. Stick your head over a little bit more.
No.
Okay, she's being shy. Oh, there she is. Flashing her face, sticking out her tongue. Okay. So those are my adorable kids that are freaking awesome. I love them to death. Anyways, and I get to live a present life with them now where I'm actually doing things with them that matter. So you guys have a great day. I will see you next week. Oh, Next week's is going to be, I believe, 11:30 to 12 instead of 10 because some girls have summer things going on. So I'll be later next week. You guys have a great day. Work on the burnout and let me know if you need help. Once again, also, if you guys have questions, if there's things you want me to address, look, see, she said, hi, babies. Yeah.
I know, I saw that.
So if you guys have questions or anything you want me to address in one of these lives, please let me know, okay? I'm more than happy to talk about it. You guys have a great day, have a great week, and live your best life.